तो एवरीवन, तो आज हम देखेंगे 31 to 40 क्वेश्चंस। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज ए डिस्टिंग्विश्ड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ वेब 2.0 टूल्स। तो वेब 2.0 टूल्स का डिस्टिंग्विश्ड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या है? ऑप्शन में है स्टैटिक वेब पेजेस, सेकेंड इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स IoT, थर्ड इंटरेक्टिव सोशल मीडिया, देन ब्लॉकचेन्स। तो इसमें से आंसर होगा इंटरेक्टिव सोशल मीडिया इज ए डिस्टिंग्विश्ड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ वेब 2.0 टूल्स। इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन देख लेते हैं। द डिस्टिंग्विश्ड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ वेब 2.0 टूल्स इज interactive social media. Unlike Web 1.0, where users passively received information, Web 2.0 allows users to interact and collaborate with each other in a social media dialogue as creators of user-generated content in a virtual community. Examples of 2.0 include social networking sites, blogs, wikis, video sharing sites, hosted services, and web applications. This has shifted the way we communicate, making it a more interactive and user-driven experience. Next question है हमारा 32. Which of the following is not an essential activity of instructional designing? Identification of learners. तो इसका आंसर है आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ लर्नर्स टू एनरोल। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट एसेंशियल एक्टिविटी ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइनिंग? इसका आंसर होगा आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ लर्नर्स टू एनरोल। कैसे? इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइनिंग, identification of learners to enroll is not considered an essential activity. Instructional design typically involves the process of analysis of learning needs and goals and the development of a delivery system to meet those needs. It also includes designing materials and activities and evaluating both the instruction and learners' performance. However, identifying or enrolling learners is not part of the instructional designer's job but typically falls under the administrative function of an educational institute. 33 question है NAAC methodology for NAAC. NAAC methodology for assessment and accreditation of general higher education institutions is an example of quality assurance. ठीक है, एक्सप्लेनेशन देखते हैं इसका। द नेशनल असेसमेंट एंड एक्रीडिएशन काउंसिल NAAC methodology for assessment and accreditation of general higher education institution is an example of quality assurance. Quality assurance is a system for the regular monitoring and evaluating of the quality of an institution's practices to ensure standards are consistently met. NAAC, as an autonomous institution, conducts assessments of our higher education institutions in India to ensure they meet specific quality standards in education. Then 34. Which one of the following basic elements of administrative processes suggested by HFIOL are not a part of post-corp? आंसर दिया गया कमांडिंग एंड कोऑपरेटिंग इज नॉट ए पार्ट। बाकी सब कोऑर्डिनेटिंग एंड कंट्रोलिंग, कमांडिंग एंड कोऑर्डिनेटिंग, कंट्रोलिंग एंड कमांडिंग सब उसके पार्ट है एक्सेप्ट कमांडिंग एंड कोऑपरेटिंग। डिटेल में देखते हैं इसका आंसर। कमांडिंग एंड कोऑपरेटिंग इज नॉट ए पार्ट ऑफ द पोस्ट कॉर्ब मॉडल. The post-corp model developed by Luther, Gulick and Lindell Orwick in 1937 stands for planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting and budgeting. Henry Fayol, however, proposed 5 basic elements of administrative process. क्या क्या है? प्लानिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, कमांडिंग, ठीक है, P फॉर प्लानिंग, O फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग, देन कमांडिंग, देन कोऑर्डिनेटिंग एंड कंट्रोलिंग. तो coordinating, which appears in the option, is not included in either Fayol's or the post-corp model. 35 question. National Education Policy 2020 recommended which of the following functions for the General Education Council? आंसर होगा हमारा एकेडमिक स्टैंडर्ड सेटिंग. ठीक है, एकेडमिक स्टैंडर्ड सेटिंग इसमें इंक्लूडेड होगा. तो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 recommends the General Education Council GEC to be responsible for academic standard setting. The GEC is proposed to function as a body that frames expected learning outcomes for higher education systems or programs, undergraduate, postgraduate, and PhD programs. Other functions like accreditation, funding, and regulation are dealt with by separate bodies in the structure proposed by NEP 2020. अब देखेंगे 36 क्वेश्चन क्या दिया है हमारा क्वेश्चन. One of the accreditation schemes under NABET involves quality of school government. क्या होगा? Quality of school government. The accreditation scheme under NABET, National Accreditation Board for Education and Training, addresses school governance. NABET provides accreditation to schools at all levels such as pre-primary, primary, middle, secondary and senior secondary level. Therefore, the quality aspect spans the entire spectrum of school government, not just a specific level. Then 37 question, which is not the definition of disability as seen by the Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission 1994. Emotional stress is not a disability. Okay. बाकी loss of physical or mental function, loss of a part of the body, any condition which affects a person's thought process, ये सब होगा disability. लेकिन emotional stress कोई disability नहीं होगा. Emotional stress is not defined as a disability by the Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission 1994. The definition of disability involves loss of mental or physical functions, loss of a body part, and conditions which affect a person through processes, perception of reality, emotions or judgment, but does not specifically include emotional stress. 38 है. The ICF model focuses on which of the following components of disability, एक्टिविटीज़ एंड पार्टिसिपेशन को स्ट्रेस देता है. बाकी मेडिकल डिस्क्रिप्शन, डॉक्टर्स प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, देन फिजियाट्रिक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, ये सब नहीं देखता है. आईसीएम मॉडल जो है डिसेबिलिटी कौन क्या क्या देखता है, एक्टिविटीज़ एंड पार्टिसिपेशन को देखता है. द इंटरनेशनल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ फंक्शनिंग डिसेबिलिटी इन हेल्थ, ICF जिसका फुल फॉर्म है इंटरनेशनल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ फंक्शनिंग डिसेबिलिटी इन हेल्थ, फोकसेस ऑन activities and participation. The ICF views disability as a complex phenomenon reflecting the interaction between features of a person's body and features of the society in which they live. The ICF acknowledges that every human being can experience a decrement in health and thereby experience some degrees of disability. And 39. How many categories of disabilities are included in RPWD Act 2016? According to RPWD Act 2016, 21 types of disabilities are there. देखो, the rights of persons with disabilities Act 2016 in India, RPWD जिसका full form है, the rights of persons with disabilities Act, RPWD Act 2016 in India identifies 21 categories of disabilities. This legislation replaced the previous law. पहले क्या था, द पर्सन्स विथ डिसेबिलिटीज एक्ट ऑफ 1995 विच ओनली रिकॉग्नाइज 7 डिसेबिलिटीज. पहले 7 डिसेबिलिटीज़ को कैलकुलेट करते थे 1995 में, अभी 2016 के हिसाब से 21 कैटेगरीज है. द न्यू एक्ट expanded the types of recognized disabilities and increased access to rights and benefits for people with disabilities. Last question है, a child from culturally backward family background has been admitted to your school. ठीक है, एक कल्चरली बैकवर्ड फैमिली से बच्चा एडमिट हुआ है, स्कूल में आया है. एज ए स्कूल हेड यू विल क्या कर सकते हो आप, कीप हिम इन ए नॉर्मल क्लास बट विल मेक स्पेशल अरेंजमेंट फॉर टीचिंग हिम कीपिंग हिज स्पेशल नीड्स इन व्यू. ठीक है, एज ए स्कूल हेड यू शुड कीप ए चाइल्ड फ्रॉम ए कल्चरली बैकग्राउंड फैमिली. हम मना नहीं कर सकते, रखेंगे उसको बैकग्राउंड इन नॉर्मल क्लास बट make special arrangements for teaching him, keeping him special needs in view. This approach is aligned with the principles to include education or inclusive education, which believes in equal opportunity for everyone, regardless of their background or special needs. The child should not be segregated or separate नहीं कर सकते हम उसको, और advised to take up vocational education just because of its culturally backward family background. देन हम 41 से नेक्स्ट वीडियो में देखेंगे. ओके, थैंक यू.